Folks, it has been a long but incredibly fun and well-written journey.
But
But
now we're
now it
finally here.
comes to an end. This is it. Pretty much the episode that most people will agree is the best of the series. The one that's had several episodes in the making and has consisted of 4. This is the finale. This is Avatar The Last Airbender, Book 3 Fire, episodes 18 through 21, Sozin's Comet. And here we are on part 1, The Phoenix King.
Okay.
Objection?
Alright, folks. I have a bit of fun trivia here, but without further ado, fair warning to those watching the Amazon Prime or, online version or whatever. We're watching the DVD/Blu-ray version. Well, I'm hoping the Blu-ray version will also work like this. Basically, we're watching this, as the separate episodes that it's presented as. So those watching this consistently as a movie, don't worry, we'll make it well known when a certain scene stops. You'll probably get the idea because it's the last scene before the credits. We'll say there's credits. And basically, we'll be doing these back to back to back in this one part, so basically it'll flow well nicely. We'll probably also add some time markers for those of you who are watching this separately and want to get caught up in a later episode that you already saw or whatever. So, without further ado, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, click.
Spoilers, there's bending involved.
Indeed. Now, fun fact actually. Back when Avatar The Last Airbender was out, the first time I saw it was actually the first day it aired, So the first episode I saw was the first episode, a 2-parter. The second episode I saw was this episode, at the end of its run. I kind of missed a lot, needless to say.
How did you manage to miss 3 years?
I was interested in it at first, kind of dropped it a bit.
Well, he's better than me. I missed the whole boat completely until Shyamalan sank the boat.
Yeah, basically, sometime after I saw it, that's when me and my family got into it big time, and then we later got the free DVD box sets. And then saw the movie. Previously on Avatar.
Star Wars.
Already.
Someone put an umbrella over his head that'll block out the sun.
You don't say, eh?
That's not how it works, please.
But he's not exposed to the comet, therefore he won't be powerful.
And here we go. Part 1, the
Phoenix
Phoenix
King.
King.
More than an umbrella.
And now Aang's mastered firebending.
Not quite. He's still training.
Tiger deal, though.
Well, it's kind of like how when he was learning earthbending. Fire, while not the opposite of air, it's still not at all his natural elements. Obviously, he's going to have trouble thinking like a firebender.
And Aang is kind of hindered more than most other airbending avatars against fire because of his traumatic experience with burning Katara.
Not to mention he's a pacifist, and being a firebender is all about being aggressive.
Yeah. Granted, the toughest one for an airbender is often supposed to be earth, but firebending does not come naturally easy, especially when the first time you tried it, you hurt a friend. A little shot for the ladies.
But we already had a beach episode.
Well,
How did he get in the wall?
Isn't it fitting, Pedro? We're back on Ember Island, so why not at the beach?
And now Katara's surfboard.
And now it's time for
this
fan service. Don't worry, Teo. It's Yu-Gi-Oh style of fan service.
Yeah, Toss also been working on her sand bending.
Cheating. Yeah, that's clearly cheating.
She made a miniature bossing say. Oh God. Listen to this.
Points for effort.
That's supposed to. Oh.
Don't tell her that.
Please, you don't want to offend her.
That's nowhere near close to Suki.
I
Nah,
love how Toph managed to know that it looks terrible just from feeling how it was made.
Yeah.
Oh Christ, Zuko's turned heel.
No, don't worry,
Again?
it's not.
More like, I guess this is the best training.
Yes. You have to always be ready for the very moment that somebody may come out of nowhere and attack you.
He does make a good point. The Earth King is the Fire King is not
Fire
going
Lord.
to just wait for. So yeah, the Fire Lord. Sorry, the Fire Lord is not gonna give you a fair chance. He's just gonna.
And let's just say Zuko knows something that is, well, you'll hear about it soon enough. Sokka, you really think that it's more serious that he damaged your poor sculpture, Suki?
Let me guess. The whole point of this episode is all the characters having a misunderstanding that Zuko's attacking
No.
Aang.
Thankfully not, Dwibs.
Let's
What kind of
use
fa-
reserve
what
for
kind-
the third act.
It wouldn't even make sense, Dwebs. If Zuko intended to hurt
No,
Aang,
no, no, no,
he had
no.
plenty of opportunities to do so by this point.
No. I'm thinking that the characters are going to think it is.
Nah, he had plenty of opportunities to do so.
Yeah. Besides, they seem that Zuko's training is different, as, everyone's training is different from each other's.
Remember, Dwebs, being a firebender is all about aggression, so obviously Aang has to learn that his pacifist nature needs to go away when it comes to firebending.
Mm-hmm.
This is also going to be similar to when Korra tries to learn airbending, which is totally goes against how she is as well.
Oh, not only that, but some lore, but we'll get to that later. About that,
He has a good
Zuko.
he has a good
Stop
point
having
there.
fun.
Jova, nothing, but I think I can hear audio coming from the body.
That's not me. I don't have a dog. Oh.
But Man is not barking.
Well, let me test it. Is it gone?
Yeah.
Okay, then I guess maybe it's me, even though I have phones, but
Maybe it
whatever.
was Nina? But basically,
Whatever.
basically the group has decided that they're not gonna do something on Sozin's Comet because Aang doesn't feel like he's ready yet.
And then by the time Aang's ready, you'll be like a minute before it comes.
See, their mentality was that, since the Fire Nation had pretty much won the war, it can't get any worse. However, let's go back to that episode when Zuko was invited to that war meeting and find out how it can actually get incredibly worse.
This scene is so incredibly unintentionally hilarious in the movie.
This was in the movie?
Well, actually, never. Wait, isn't this
The movie's book 1.
Yeah. Never mind. I'm mistaking this for another Fire Nation meeting.
If this were
Never mind.
if this were the movie, it would look like it was shot in a gymnasium.
Basically, too. You know this character that's talking right now? I forgot his name. Zhao, I think.
Pedro, Zhao died at the end of book 1.
Sorry.
This is just a
No,
nameless
that was
general.
Jason Isaacs. Still monkey face though.
This character in the movie is played by Asif Manvi of all people.
Pedro,
Why Asif
Pedro,
Manvi?
Zhao is played by Asif Mondi, not that character. That guy
Okay.
just looks like Zhao. Anyway,
Really looks exactly like him.
well, yeah, it's because of a hairdo the Fire Nation has.
I guess. Even the face looks similar though.
Yeah, monkey face as well. But
So here's
whatever. The point. What is the master plan? How?
basically the Earth.
Because we're evil.
Wait. Basically,
You-
Azula is
you-
suggesting
Hey.
math.
You go back to the back of the class.
Remember, she's Daddy's favorite.
Why are they? Hang on, sorry, I missed it. What were they going to burn down?
Okay.
Everything.
Basically, here's the thing. Even though the Fire Nation have technically claimed the Earth Kingdom, which was pretty much them winning the war, the Earth Kingdom is not giving in like at all in the colonies. So the idea given by Azula here is, why not wipe the slate clean with mass genocide? We're gonna
So
use
basically, this is what would happen if Dwebs was the Fire Lord.
basically. remember how back...
I wouldn't order mass genocide.
Let Drova speak.
Basically, remember how when Sozin used the comet, hence it being called Sozin's Comet, he became powerful enough to wipe out the entire air nomads? Now the Fire Nation want to do something similar with the Earth Kingdom that dares defy them.
Actually, if the Fire Lord's war seemed to be go by, he wants to do it to the entire world.
No, just the Earth Kingdom. The Water Tribes will come a different way.
First the Earth Kingdom, and then the world.
Besides, dear, here's the thing. With the Water Tribes, those are like just the South and North Pole, compared to the Earth Kingdom. There you go. A kid's show pretty much shows that we now have mass genocide as a stake here. That good enough for a finale climax?
Which means, Aang, you need to practice more if you're going to defeat the Fire Lords. So
In
get
time.
practice.
Yeah.
So get practicing.
The reason Zuko
No
didn't
more-
tell him
No
before...
more beach
parties.
episodes.
Yeah.
Well, Dwibs...
Well, he didn't really. Look at everything he's done.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of obvious.
Not to mention, Zuko assumed that they were gonna, try and stop the Fire Lord before the Comet, since that's all they'd ever talked about when he was against them. But now we have to trade properly.
And no. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
But we'll do it together.
Hmm.
Oh, I love this bit coming up.
Come on, group hug.
I love how it's Qatar of all people who says, "Get over here and enjoy the hug."
He's
Like,
kind of like the Edgeworth of this group.
Get over
No,
here.
oh
dude,
God, no! Not you two, Alpha! And they're dead.
You are not a lapdog.
All right, time to get
the Avatar crew.
time
Oh.
to get real with practice.
Here's one thing. Zuko's gonna teach Aang a thing Iroh taught him. How to redirect
The
lightning.
electricity shield.
Now, okay, this is one extra detail that I didn't bring up beforehand, but like it was said before, Iroh made this firebending technique by studying the waterbenders. Again, it's to great detail that they show that by using the motions of, say, another bending applied to a different bending, you can do special moves. And it saves Zuko's life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got that mark on your back to remember that by. You see, Aang, in this world, it's kill or be killed. Oh God, the Melon Lord.
Ten out of 10, master strategist. Oh. You don't need to give tough ideas.
Though Toph can get pretty well in character.
Well, as for
I'm sure.
as for what you said earlier, well, would you rather we go charging guns blazing?
Well, that's the thing, is Sokka's playing steel doesn't seem that feasible.
Well, they have to practice first, of course.
True.
And that became a meme.
Of course.
Yes, Toph is the Melon Lord. And no, you don't want to look up the Rule 34 versions of that.
Please, no.
He's just not capable,
Aang?
even in pretend.
Oh.
Yo,
True.
Yeah.
Momo is eating the
Eat
Melon
your
Lord's
brains.
inner heads. Yes, that's how it's gonna go, guys. We're gonna cut Mark Hamill's head open just for Momo to eat the brains.
The good guys.
What's that? Cannibal Holocaust?
Well, Dwebs, it's either kill the Fire Lord and save the world, or let
I
everyone
I
burn
know,
everything.
but we
She shouldn't eat his innards.
Baby Zuzu.
About that.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, this became
That
awkward.
was awkward.
And this is another moment I like. They don't try and use it to try and humanize him and say, oh, if we kill him, we're just as bad. It's just that, like, well, it's actually to
Thank
show
you,
that he
I
became
really
bad.
Don't like that cliche.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much so. Hey, by the way, this kid will grow up to be Hitler.
Only probably.
No!
But,
There you go.
We
Again.
won't have the real superpower of teamwork in this show.
So yeah, that's Aang's dilemma for this finale: how to do this
deal
and stay
with
true
the
to
fire
and stay true to his principles.
The thing I like about this is like, well, it's not a matter of just he thinks that, oh, we'd be just as bad as him. No, that's actually not his reason for not wanting to kill the Fire Lord. The reason is
This is it.
because it doesn't feel like him, and also because it goes against its principle, his way of living. And to Aang's credit, not many avatars have been put in this kind of position. Like, you know, again, the overall job description of Avatar was to try and maintain balance to the world. They didn't mention killing exactly. Another thing I also like this is
Kill
like
the Fire Lord.
another thing I also like about this is like, oh, unlike most plots where, you know, shows would, you know, pretend like one side is, you know, the absolute right here, there are actually multiple characters who argue for both killing the Fire Lord or, you know, not killing him for certain reasons. You know,
I do just a bit of foreshadowing here. I do have a problem with the way it gets resolved. Let's just say that. I'll bring it up when we get to it.
Don't tell me that, because I'm already have some issues.
okay, let me put it like this.
What the?
Oh, goody this. Okay, believe it or not, this was foreshadowed in Book 2. It may not have seemed important back then, but I'll let you know when we actually see it.
Anyway,
Alright.
Pedro, what exactly do you have an issue with?
You'll
Don't worry,
see.
feeling
I'll,
to-
I'll,
I can't tell
I'll,
you 'cause
I'll
it's a
bring it up.
spoiler.
I'll bring it up when it's relevant.
Question, Pedro. Is it in the second part or the fourth part of this?
You know, the final one.
Oh,
you
okay,
know,
that
one. That one way in how we managed to
Okay,
stop
okay,
the
okay,
Fire
okay.
Lord. You know what I mean.
Okay. I got you
Basically,
there.
Pedro has an issue with the same thing I brought up to you quite a while back, Drova.
It might be a bit different, but I definitely know what he's talking about now.
The only reason I'm even aware
Again,
of
I'll
that
bring it
is
up when it's relevant,
because
so we'll be able to
Pedro
discuss
is
it then.
wrong.
Moving on.
So,
Okay, Dwibs, where is Aang? Start the countdown. All right, Dwibs, this is okay. Time to play a game of Where is Aang? No, that's not Aang. That's Sokka.
That's his staff.
There's something wrong, though. If Aang ran away, wouldn't he have taken his
I
staff
thought
with
I
him?
told you no more beach parties.
Hmm.
And drowned himself?
Oh no, it was the
No.
Mirage Island from Generation 3. Now he's gonna be
No.
trapped fighting
No,
wineouts
it's-
for all eternity.
You know the beginning of Her Majesty's
Tearing down
Secret.
eternity.
You know the beginning of Her Majesty's Secret Service where the main female character tries to walk into the sea to drown herself.
Mm-hmm.
This is what would happen if Bond didn't save her in time.
Yeah, good point. Wait.
Oh,
Uh,
super blushing.
True!
Toph, don't.
Toph, funnily enough, I don't remember Toph ever being shipped with Zuko.
Yeah, I mean...
Not to
To
mention
be
Zuko
fair-
already has
to
a
be
girlfriend.
fair,
Oh,
she
wait,
was
this
the
bit
first-
coming
she
up.
was the first one more inclined to trust him at first.
Ew.
Those faces, man.
Apparently the play's
Those
a
are
big
such
hit.
anime faces, I'm sorry.
Freedom.
Did I ever
Oh, wait,
ask
this
for you to
bit
tell me your
coming.
life story?
Please.
Also, you want to
Yeah.
talk about rough childhoods? Just take a look at this guy's face. Also, Toph said there, worst vacation ever.
It wasn't
There's
a
a boat-
holiday.
He seems to just have an interest in a random guy like every once in a blue moon.
That's Toph for you. Although, to be fair, Shuri, if you were blind, I guess you'd have an interest in something new. Oh, this bit. Sokka thinks Appa ate Momo. You know, it's kind of ironic considering how the first time Sokka met Momo, he tried to eat him. And now here's Sokka trying to rescue Momo.
And Sokka died.
The end.
And no one cares.
Ew. That's disgusting.
Oh, this bit.
Guys, I need some help here. No.
I love it. Everyone's saying, you know, Zuko, you're kind of the expert on finding egg. So get this, guys. Now we're finally using Zuko's ability to hunt down Aang for good.
I will admit, I'm a sucker for those kinds of jokes. Like when there's something serious going on in the foreground, and then in the background there's some kind of joke.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a sucker.
Oh, goody.
Pedro, you didn't tell me this. You didn't tell me there was a sequel to Finding Dory.
Meanwhile, back with
I
the
love
Fire
Finding Dory.
Nation.
Yeah, I know. I do too. But you didn't tell me there was a sequel to
Azula
it.
is not pleased.
Yeah, Azula.
Finding Aang.
Yeah,
I
Azula.
am most displeased.
Needless to say, Azula's been having a bad week. Remember, on this week, not only did she fail in capturing her brother, but both Tylee and May betrayed her. May betrayed her in name of love for Zuko. And let's just say Azula's about to get hit with something else. It also didn't help that they escaped that other time, too.
A bullet.
Everybody betray me. I'm fed up
Wait,
with
this bit
bull.
coming up.
Hmm?
Yeah, remember how I said that Azula's first miscalculation was that Zuko would never tell Ozai the truth? Well, now Ozai knows that Azula lied to him. So this is essentially her first time getting punished by her father.
Ooh.
You're grounded.
Where's he?
Shut up.
Listen to your father, Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Yes, very important.
But she really wants to murder people. Look at her face.
Oh,
Oh no.
oh God.
Oh, that's not a face I like.
He's declaring her the new Fire Lord.
Roll credits.
And I get
Sorry.
the feeling
Sounds a
I
bit
get the feeling that this is where half of the Fire Nation fought. Wait, did he just say the Phoenix keyed? Like, I bet somebody fought cuckoo. But yeah, here's the thing though. Yeah, so he appointed Azula to be Fire Lord of the Fire Nation. Here's the deal though. Since he's gonna be Phoenix King of the entire world, the Fire Lord position is kinda gonna be moot.
Yeah.
Which means it's effectively his way of punishing Azula in the best way mentally.
Plot twist. Aang has been drunken
Drinking.
himself.
Hey,
too.
it's June from season 1.
I completely forgot about her.
She has the special
look,
mole.
Ryu, what are you doing here?
Yeah, what
Yes.
is Ryu from Street Fighter doing here?
A little, Easter egg.
He likes a drink, it seems.
Who are they gonna meet next? Scorpion?
Katsutsu Pook, yeah. Oh. How embarrassing.
I guess he's not gonna be mentioning this in the next crossover.
Nope. That face.
Toph, she tried to kill us the last time we met her.
There's so Aang is dying.
No, it was just sleeping on the island.
Turns out Aang was sleepwalking and sleep swimming. But it's an
How?
He was
Oh
he
my
was
god,
sleep
they,
avataring. There you go.
They stole this from Dream Team.
it's a
From what?
moving island.
Basically, there's an episode
Credits.
of a British football soap called Dream Team, where the entire team somehow managed to get from their club in the Midlands in England, and he ended up in France.
Oh, gee, a story about
I-
people somehow ending up in a place they never would have foreconceived. Never seen that in another show
I
ever whatsoever.
I seriously doubt Brian and Mike saw that show. Not
Yeah.
for nothing.
It's the best comparison I can think of.
What about Lost?
I haven't
Yeah.
seen Lost.
Lost
You
is
should.
essentially the epitome of we're lost somewhere. Okay,
Anyway.
guys, so that was the first part, and now it's time for the second part. Intermission time.
See ya.
Hello, folks, and now we're on to the second part. Avatar: The Last Airbender, Book Free Fire, Episode 19. Sozin's Comet, Part 2, The Old Masters.
Can these titles get any longer?
I think they do, actually.
You see, Tay, we're trying
Anyway.
to do that anime thing where they have these humongous titles with they have basically 2 titles per episode when you get like
Anyway, alright.
But still, don't call the show an anime in front of any fans or they'll kill you.
Come at me, bros.
3,
I'm ready.
2, 1, click. And we're coming at you now with the second part. Oh, even Men is excited.
Men is excited.
Yeah, basically we're still watching the titles of the show.
You have to teach your dog manners, Shiroi.
Yeah. Don't worry, those who are watching this via Amazon, whatever. We'll
Oh.
just
Yeah, right. Forgot about that. Yeah, those who are watching this on Amazon Prime will let you know when the episode starts.
I'll lean some like time marks or so.
yeah.
Oh,
Ow.
he's gonna
What's
have
gonna
to,
die?
or a lot of
Going
people are
the
gonna
way
die.
Oh, first of all,
We're all
you need to
gonna
get off
die,
that
thanks.
island.
Oh yeah, there's a previously on Avatar segment. Don't worry, folks. Watching the movie version, we'll be there for you.
I'll be there for you.
When the rain starts to fall.
I'll be there for you.
Whatever.
Anyway, yeah, Aang went sleepwalking and sleep swimming. Momo
Onto an island
followed.
that's moving. Let me guess, the plot twist is that the island is a turtle.
You're close to you.
It's common in fiction.
It's a boat piloted by Azula.
No.
Wouldn't that be?
And okay, Amazon View.
Oops.
Yep. Back when I had less hair.
Creepy grandpa.
Well, actually, Joe, but didn't he technically always have that hair except he did the
The fan shippers are on the edge of their seats, lady. We're in the season finale.
Well, it's clear that the writers are now pulling everything at this point, so. Oh.
They're on nicer terms now. Yeek? Yeah, but stunning tongue.
Wait, what's her character's name again?
June.
Jew.
Spelled Jun without the E. So let's
the
see
month
if
we're in right now at the time of this recording.
see if her mole can sniff out
The
Aang.
star knows the badger.
Remember, it's the best smeller in the world.
True.
And it's got nothing.
Yeah.
No, he's dead. Dun dun. Yeah.
No, he doesn't exist, Wibbs.
Oh, that's weird.
Aang was just a hallucination this entire time, guys.
That
Yes.
would be an actually interesting twist. If it wasn't for the fact that Aang interacted with other people before.
But don't you see,
yeah,
Tio?
yeah, but it would either intrigue some people and piss off others.
Yeah.
Well, Teo, maybe if we did it late in anime episode 2 style, it could work.
Hmm.
That would have to be some wide mass gassing, though. Anyway, though, Aang's not in the spirit world, though, because he can still bend.
Hmm. Oh, bye. Your cameo was
okay.
compelling, I guess.
Hold on.
Ew.
So what are you gonna do? Fart in the fire
Pyro.
direction?
It's sweet and
Do
smelly.
not fart in the direction of a Fire Lord.
No, I got it. They'll fart at the fire lord. He'll fire gas, and the fire will react to the fart gas, and it will blow everything up.
Yeah.
Including all the
Dweebs,
main cast
Dweebs,
members.
I'm afraid to tell you that this show doesn't run on South Park logic.
Hey, at least,
But-
at least the fire.
Oh my god, Joba. I just remembered something. Remember you remember that joke you made about Aang was dead all along?
Yeah.
Remember one of the parody twists that South Park did with that Shyamalan skit was, what about we may think that zombies killed us, but really we were already dead. So yeah, that's totally how Shyamalan would have done this actually.
Alright. So June is to help them find where Iroh is. Yeah. It's as far as it'll take him.
Alright. Oh?
Oh.
And
Nope.
Aang can't.
Actually, it
Aang
looks
can't-
more
It's
like...
okay. Oh, okay. It's okay, guys. I figured it out. Aang, you're in the Lost Woods. Go up, down, left. Okay.
Actually,
this
it
can't
looks
be
more
solved by the
like,
canonical code,
that
Pedro.
surface looks more like wood than anything.
Thankfully,
Hello.
it's spiritual enough. Okay, and this is the part where they show basically scenes that, well, okay, some of these scenes are scenes you would have seen if you had the DVD specials extra on book 2. But basically now they're translated into an actual episode for us to see. Not so much Roku's, but the others.
You can do.
Which is why nowadays online you only find DVD copies because most people stopped uploading TV rips in general.
yeah.
Oh,
You know, Pedro, it's kind of an interesting thing the writers did. Like, well, they incorporated something that was originally, special features exclusive into an actual episode.
Oh.
The club of the people who were
The
playing
White
that
Lotus.
board game. Yeah,
It's Christopher.
White
It's
Lotus.
Christopher Lloyd. Yay!
Yeah.
Not just well, it works for me, Joe, because I started watching this with the DVD rips. So
Oh, absolutely. What I'm saying is, like, well, it's kind of an intuitive thing they did, incorporating those features into this actual episode. Basically, we're about to get lore. Well, not so much this lore, we already know about this, but let's just say Aang's gonna try talking to his past Avatar lives to consult what should he do. Of course, as Roku is saying right here, he spared Sozin's life, and, well, Sozin repaid his life by abandoning him on a volcano to die.
Charming.
So, Roku's a bit, shall we say, bitter. I wonder how Roku and Sozin interact in the afterlife nowadays.
That bastard left me to burn on an island just so he can take my wife.
Actually, he didn't take his... actually, it's funny you mention him taking his wife, considering what happens in The Search.
I hate the Fire Nation. They're so corrupt. They killed my
Oh,
wife.
look, even Pak is back. But now they just made amends with Katara and Sokka's grandmother. Now they can get married proper.
Yeah.
No.
And look, even Zhang from Book 1, his Aang's original firebending, well, wannabe firebending teacher. That's ageist.
Mm. But apparently Mick Foley isn't going to be part of it.
No, just wait till the end, Wibbs. You may be in for a surprise. Oh, booby.
Can't believe they actually managed to get a wrestler.
Well, I mean, you know, he played pretty much the ultimate wrestler in this show, aside from Toph. Wait.
Oh.
Wait
Yeah.
just a bit.
Momo is
We
the
got eaten
avatar.
by
It's-
Appa.
My oldest friend may be gone and missing, but as long as he has his Lima, they should be fine.
Also, that propulsion.
That's just the mad genius with a boomy. Okay, let's try asking Kiyoshi.
Are we sure it's a good idea?
Oh, boy, Kiyoshi. Yes, a
yeah,
bit
I
of
remember
throwback to
that
that.
guy, yeah.
However, now Aang actually gets to see how it went down through the vision. So he was too stubborn that he actually did die. But Kyoshi's like, I would have killed him anyway.
Well, but she was Kyoshi. We knew she would have been tempered like that.
Like, remember,
So-
Kiyoshi's the one who formed the Dai Li just to get a king, the current king of Ba Sing
That
Se.
turned out in the end.
Yeah. They started off good but got corrupted. Now let's find out how
This-
Boomy escaped.
This episode. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Everybody else escaped. Let's talk about how Boomy got back. Because last we saw him, he was trapped in Omashu.
Mm-hmm. In that sarcophagus. Oh, during the eclipse.
Remember how in Book 2, Boomy said he was waiting for just the right moment? This was that
There you go.
moment. Because
Do you even lift?
oops. Boomy
Wow,
is
I've
quite
forgotten half. Sorry, I've forgotten half. They got no firepower.
the
eclipse,
the
I
eclipse.
believe.
This is what Boomy did during the eclipse. Remember, Boomy is quite possibly the only Earthbender who could maybe match wits with Toph.
Yeah, well, you're probably wondering too, who would win in in an earthbending match, Toph or Boomy? There's actually a comic that tells that.
Yeah.
Huh.
You wanna mention that, Jova?
You know what? I'll let you do the honors. I've been the one giving off the most.
Subtle.
Oh. God.
Well, I actually haven't read the comic. I haven't read the comics
Well,
myself.
tell you what, I'm gonna check it myself anyway.
Yeah, that'll be for a nice comic book commentary because, yes, folks, the comics do continue the lore of Avatar.
I eat a veggies.
I might.
No.
We just got our butts kicked and Zuko nearly got killed.
And
Again?
now Avatar, and now Aang is missing completely.
Okay, so Kyoshi was
Avatar is missing.
was almost up. Waterbender.
Handsome. Dude!
I can't wait for Yu-Gi-Oh's XL to take that phrase and completely stuff it up its butt.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, remember how Ko mentioned how a past Avatar tried to kill him? Kirik is the one hunting after Ko because he took his beloved's face.
That's sad.
Yeah. And now he spends pretty much the rest of his afterlife trying to help his wife now.
So his advice is kill him.
Kill everybody.
So once again, they killed my wife.
Again, you know, an interesting
Yep.
thing is like, well, at some point you'd think somebody would be, oh, you're right, Aang, but no, his past lives are actually looking at it methodically. Like, and the thing is like, well, none of them are outright saying, well, except for Kyoshi, because she's Kyoshi, but none of them are outright saying that he absolutely has to do it, but they're saying that they honestly think it's in his best interest, given what happened to them when they took things easy. it shows a bout of maturing when something bad happens in one's past life. It's like, at first the world may seem happy-go-lucky, but let's just say when a huge tragedy happens in your life, you look at things a lot differently.
And it sucks
Hold on, I
that
like
you
this
might have to
scene,
kill
though.
someone, but at the same time, if you don't kill this one person, then thousands more will die. So,
But yeah, Paige just said, this scene's great.
there we go.
All right.
So Zuko's gotten everyone's
So,
forgiveness,
basically,
except his
Mitchell-
uncle's.
Here we go. This is by far my favorite scene in the entire show.
Dwibs, wake up!
Wake up!
Oh,
Okay.
but we don't get to see it yet. Moving on.
Aang, you're talking to Momo again. The last time you talked to Momo, well,
You know, Aang, I know how to get out of the Lost Woods. You can ask me how to get out of here.
I like that line from him. I'm gonna pretend that I didn't pretend to hear you say that. So now Aang's gonna talk to an airbending avatar, Yang Chen. Spiderfly? Oh god, a spiderfly can get caught in its own web.
Oh.
That's kind of tragic.
I don't know. I think those people at the water.
Hold on.
That was the
Temple
ocean
raid.
spirit who did that.
You should really... Aang helped.
Not when you're the avatar.
Oh, and by the way, you also cannot have a wife for some reason.
That's the movie, not the
Yeah,
show.
have a family.
That's the joke
Hold
thing.
Hang on.
And she's supposed to be bold.
She is sort of, but up front. Basically, the way it works for girls in this case is like, well, everything up to the main forehead is bald. I love
Oh, I
it.
don't get it. What was your
She's-
advice?
Basically, she said that selfless conduct kind of asks you to sacrifice your own beliefs and whatnot, and do
The
what's
needs of the many
right.
outweigh the needs of the few, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, hold on. Here we go.
Okay, this scene.
So he stayed there the entire night.
Mhm.
All right, here we go.
Ah,
Oh.
Oh.
I saw everything very cap. Just disappointed.
Obvious kill a coup joke out of the way. I'm so happy that I sound a lot more like my previous voice actor.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, that is
Confession,
definitely a touching scene.
Confession, that scene did move me to tears.
Heck, I'll
The first
admit,
time I saw it.
and let me remind you, I had not seen anything in the middle of this in the first episode, and yet even I got some deep feels. In fact, trust me, this finale is quite possibly the thing that can get even a newcomer feels. Especially when we get to episodes 3 and 4. Land ahoy!
Are you gonna say land ho for a second?
Oh, that's
now?
the thing, Aang. Did you found the answer you were looking for?
Yeah, by the way, how is this
Oh,
island?
no.
I think.
Well,
Again, too, I've been trying to give him the answer, but he just won't listen.
okay. A paw.
Oh.
Oh, it was
The
a
sea
creature.
monster.
Not just any creature, something that was foreshadowed in book 2.
Oh my! It was Upper the whole time.
It's amazing why the music is tense.
Let's just say to you, the creature he's about to meet is something that's incredibly, well, let's just say, immense to behold. It's an incredibly
Okay.
powerful and rare one. The Father Lord. Daddy issues, Zuko. Now, here is actually a counter-argument against killing the Fire Lord, especially if it's Iroh. Like I always said, they would just see it as a brother killing another brother for power.
I got it, guys. Trick him into killing himself.
How are we gonna
That's
do that?
remember if that's what happens at the end of Inheritance, so the book
No,
is
no,
about Aragorn.
Put him in like a hall of mirrors or something. Then he fires he does the fire, but it bounces off a mirror and hits him.
So here's what we're gonna do, though. Zuko! It turns out it's Zuko's destiny to take the throne of Fire Lord.
Well, Dibs, you should watch Tex Avery old cartoons, because a lot of episodes end with the villains killing themselves because of something.
Yeah.
I guess. Then we can't call. Then we'll have to call this show Zuko, the Last Airbender's friend.
How ironic. The very thing he set out as general to do, take over Ba Sing Se, wasn't for him actually conquering it, but liberating it.
Well, he's failed it. Well, someone's already done that for him.
No, liberating it, Dibs, as in freeing it from the Fire Nation. Originally, he thought the Vision was telling him to conquer it. This was back when he was evil.
By the way, Iroh, do you have any philosophical advice on how to find Aang?
Drink more tea.
Look behind you.
So, and also, Zuko's got the task of taking down Azula for once.
Ooh.
Zuko and Katara. Okay.
For a second, thank God. For a second, I thought he was going to say.
Eelhound.
Okay, so it's electric.
Alright, so we've got 4 big tasks to take care of this finale. Aang's got to deal with the Fire Lord. Toph, Sokka, and Suki got to deal with the Fire Ray that's going to be aiding the Fire Lord and burning down the Earth Kingdom. And Zuko and Katara have to take down Azula and keep her from becoming the Fire Lord. And then Iroh and company are taking back Ba Sing Se. You know, you gotta love the irony of this. It's not during Day of Black Sun, you know, the time when the Fire Nation was at their weakest, that we have to beat them, but Sozin's Comet, the day when the Fire Nation are at their strongest, that we gotta beat them. I will say, though, there's...
Hey, I heard a little bit of the Tomb Raider theme.
Cute.
Oh, there, here we go.
It's a long swim to this guy's face.
There's always a bigger fish.
This is not quite a fish, but it'll eat fish.
Hello.
Its eyes as big as his body.
Oh.
Why didn't Aang just swim back to...
He wants to talk to this. It's a lion turtle. Believe it or not, Tio, if you'll recall correctly, Wan Shitong's library had a lion turtle in it, which the gang even talked about.
The millennial being?
Yes.
Excellent
Don't do
point.
it.
Who voices him? Let me check.
What the hell are you going on about?
He's gonna teach him something.
Yeah.
A very
Let's just-
mental lesson. You'll see.
Let's let's just say I don't like what it is, but again, I'll bring it up. Sure.
He, SpongeBob.
You wish.
I don't like
Ocean
it either,
Man,
but there we
Take
go.
me
So-
out. Oh, Kevin Michael Richardson.
I
voices
thought that
Michael
was
Richardson.
Kevin Michael Richardson.
Remember, Aang, stay true to the
It is
4
time for
elements
the-
you are just
It
beginning
is
to
time.
know.
No, hey, guys, it is time for the Jedi to end.
Mark,
Luke,
wrong.
Luke, I thought you were supposed to be a good guy.
Well, fuck
Funny story, during a lot of what if scenarios, he actually becomes a bad guy.
It's funny because
Sadly.
Mark Hamill voices a lot of bad guys too.
you. Yeah.
Alright.
Okay, guys, for the next 2 episodes, it's Comet time. Perfect place to end this
Well,
episode.
It's interesting to say that, Joe, but considering how in Birth by Sleep it was the opposite. Leonard Nimoy played the bad guy, whereas Mark Hamill played the
good
mentor
guy.
character. The mentor
Oh,
character.
yeah, true, the mentor character. So,
What's the next episode called? Comet Gets Some.
you'll see, Dweebs, you'll see.
Alright, then stay tuned after the interval for episode 3.
Alright.
This is the third parter.
Well, folks, it's time for us to return, and we are now back with the episode Comet Gets Some, Azula.
What? You mean Sozin's Comet Part 3 Into the Inferno.
No,
Okay.
I'm calling it Comet Gets Some, Azula, because that's...
I like.
Okay, you know what? That actually is a good name for this title.
Alright, then just
Episode,
start
you mean,
the...
Dover?
I
We're
said,
almost
yeah,
at the
that's a
end, so
good one.
Just start before the usual intro then.
Yes, if you're watching this on DVD, start at the intro. If you're watching this movie-wise, well, we'll let you know when the segment begins.
All right.
Okay, then, 3, 2, 1, click. So what was the episode called really again, Jova?
This is Avatar: The Last Airbender, Book
Into
3,
the
Episode
Inferno.
20, Sozin's Comet, Part 3, Into the Inferno.
Into the Yeah, my title's better. Yeah, they should have got me to title these episodes.
But yeah, you know what, Dweebs? Your episode name, Comet Get It. What was it?
Comet
Comet
Gets
Comet
Some.
Gets Some, Azula.
Let's just say, Dweebs, that's actually rather fitting considering what happens in this episode.
What, the comet lands on Azula and kills her?
You wish, but let's just say that might have been merciful compared to what's going to happen to her by the end of this season.
It could be... Change the fucking intro, please.
It's kind of bad
Oh,
how much
oh,
I've been looking forward to
you
this
know-
one moment.
You know, if I recall correctly, I think they changed the intro in the movie version. I could just be remembering it wrong.
There's one technique you need to know. Cut off his head.
Dweebs.
Come on, it's just Mark Hamill. What's the worst he's ever done aside from gassing an entire town, turning a woman insane? Yeah.
And even taking advantage of feudal Japan, according to recent Batman media.
There we are. Into the Inferno.
Alright, so the Sozin's comedy is here, so...
Finally, the thing
Get
we've been
wrecked,
waiting for.
So the real question will be, how much long will be the duration of its effect?
Let's see. Long enough for
I
the
mean,
Fire
the
Nation to
eclipse,
burn down the
The
entire...
eclipse was just a couple of minutes, so...
This is gonna last an entire night.
Well, shit.
Hope you got some sleep before this.
Oh yeah, the Amazon Prime lot. Sorry, I forgot.
Also, stop jinxing it, please.
Okay, now let's see how Fire Lord Azul is doing. We're getting ready for a coronation.
I'm sure she doesn't want to kill everyone in the room.
Die.
Acid. Seething.
Yeah, Azula's gotten a bit paranoid.
Not just that, she's pretty much making excuses for the sake of, venting her frustration on someone.
Yeah.
And kill her quickly.
No, she's Spanish.
Oh, to be fair, for Azul standards, this is acceptable.
Yeah.
She's in a good mood today.
So just for leaving a pip in the cherry, she's banished from the entire kingdom.
Yeah. Ties again to the theme that fire naturally is supposed to be a good thing unless you use it for bad.
Oh.
Thing's tired, but it got them there in time.
Now it'll probably drink the whole sea to recover.
That'll dehydrate it.
Yeah, the
So,
rain.
how
Don't
to
worry,
take-
the rain. The rain will
So
make
how
it
to
reappear.
take down an entire airship fleet?
Good question.
Oh.
It's right.
There's one
And
way
just
to
let
get
them
there.
answer the question.
That could have hurt, but thankfully we had just enough wind resistance.
And then Yuffie vomits all over the ship. Oh no, wait, the wrong series.
Besides, Yuffie got seasick, not... Oh wait, no, she also gets airsick.
Yeah.
God, CGI.
not that
Dude,
bad.
I know presentation and everything, but you wanna get some,
Hey, when you're an evil...
protection.
Oh, by the way, nice change. The blue flames are now blue.
The blue frames are now blue.
Everyone's already done with their shit.
Pretty much. Oh, cheer, that just makes
Oh,
things
the-
easier. Jesus Christ, lady.
Is she just gonna oust everyone?
Again, see,
She's
okay,
gonna have no one. She's gonna have no one left to protect her.
okay,
She's gonna start talking to herself next.
okay. Can I just talk about one thing I love about Azula's development here? See, the thing with Azula is that she made the biggest mistake you can make when you haven't messed up. She got too good, as in she got to the point where she could only go down. Like, okay, by the end of book 2, she's pretty much on top of the
Knock,
world.
knock.
It's tough.
Knock, knock. It's tough.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, she's
Good
using
metal
the
band,
door
Ellen.
as a shield.
He had some armor.
That is freaking clever. Oh!
It's Iron Man. Run!
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
pretty much. Where are the transistors?
Oh, wait.
Specifically, the original suit.
The Mark
that-
1.
Wait, oh my god, it all makes sense,
The
guys.
original suit assembled in a cave of a box of scraps.
I love this.
Well, remember
video.
to sorry.
Hold on. No. Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
Oh, this joke. Yeah, despite this being a serious moment, this episode still has a lot of great jokes.
I watched Star Trek, I know this one. Ram into everything.
Yep.
And they go
Very
for
special
it.
birth-
They bought this.
Oh,
My
so-
guess is too. They're thinking, okay,
Wait,
the boss
this
has gone
line
mad.
coming
Let's
up.
Better see what's going on.
we're actually seeing the mooks talk amongst themselves.
This is probably inspired by Star Wars because
Yeah.
I knew Hope did this as well.
Oh.
Aww.
Aw.
Happy birthday! Oh, this line coming up. Make a wish.
Thanks, Roadhog.
Make a wish on the
Happy
shooting
birthday.
star.
You're gonna drown.
Oh man.
Oh god. Again, it takes a pretty good show to have humor like that while something this serious is going on.
Vile Lord Ozai, a bunch of our men were dropped on
Not
the
I'm
now.
pretty sure
I'm
he doesn't
staring down
care.
the Earth Kingdom.
Eternal.
But sir, it's an emergency. You're banished
Oh,
too.
Oh,
goody,
this bit.
the grannies.
Yep.
Kotake and Coom?
Wow.
Okay, now your paranoia has gone to dangerous levels, honey.
Again, it's a nice deconstruction.
Everybody's gonna betray me. Everybody's up to get me.
Again, it's a nice deconstruction of what happens when a character who is, pretty much praised as perfect actually slips up. She starts to doubt herself.
So this
And
is where the
just like
twins
that,
from sort of
her entire
unfortunate event got
planning
their
goes
start.
down like a castle of cards.
Oh, but it's not gonna end just there.
Oh.
Oops.
Oh, that's very arbitrary.
Problem though, she was pointing at the wrong one, so now the directions are mixed. But yeah, like I said, Azula's weakness was that she got too good to the point where she got cocky, and well, now she's again, while Zuko gets better and rises, Azula weakens and gets weaker. It's the perfect comeuppance to a character who's caused nothing but grief to the characters.
Each of the two siblings have issues effectively, but she's letting hers destroy her.
Yeah, see,
Oh, boy.
Azula was always sick, but she was able to control it in a way that she used it to her advantage. Now, though, with some of her most trusted people, even her father kind of doubting her, everything's about to be crumbling down. And speaking of
Well,
crumbling
her father
down,
had reason to doubt her.
Whoa.
yeah,
Case of outcast fireball.
Iroh is still the Dragon of the West for a reason, folks. And now he's got Sozin's Comet on his side, so...
Think of it
Yeah.
as the Master Roshi of this series.
Yep. He may not seem that awesome, but wait till he gets into the ring. You'll regret it soon enough.
He spent months working out in a prison.
Yeah. And he broke out without his firebending.
Yeah. During the day of the eclipse.
Fire everything.
It's not Star Trek, babes.
And push!
We.
So
Alright,
yeah, basically they're working on freeing Ba Sing Se. Oh, goody, this bit. So yeah, Azula kind of banished even her entourage, so now she has to do her own hair. She kind of sucks at
Yeah,
it.
terrible.
Jesus, she's got a grudge against her own hair.
Oh. Yep.
Well, it's
Azula
official.
sucks.
She's gone full loony.
Yeah, Azula, and you taking your meds.
Well, yeah, Azula's kind of gone.
I don't think meds would do anything for her.
Let me guess, she's going to banish her mother.
How dare you?
So she doesn't quite talk to herself, Sir Roy. Well, sir, she doesn't quite talk to herself, but close enough.
You
Yeah.
grounded, Azula. Go to your room.
Yeah.
No, it's basically a nicer version of the
And then-
"Avenge me" moment.
After that, the Fire Lord's going to be like, "Are we there yet?"
Oh no, he's just savoring this moment.
Are we
Unfortunately,
there yet, sir?
Darn it, we're not gonna make it. Let's speed up.
Let's speed up.
the Fire Lord's airship is well ahead, which means it's now time to get to burning.
It's just like firing a Death Star.
Holy shit.
A Death Star with burn damage.
Well, at least he's doing the burning himself.
Yeah. And the village isn't too far.
Oh, hey, Aang. Yeah.
Yeah, the
No, Boba will help.
Let's do this.
I was going to say, Aang, don't do the movie tactic. You'll end up accomplishing nothing.
So, well-aimed
Well, yeah,
shots
'cause
at
they
the
didn't
ship
get
will
this
start
far.
to bring it down.
So we seem to have lost control of the ship.
I've noticed, idiots.
Okay, so like in Sonic Heroes, we have to tackle down the airship engine first.
Hey, we finally meet.
So,
Howdy.
you come here often?
Yeah, I've been away for a bit.
Please, no.
There you go, Star Wars fangirls. Shirtless Mark Hamill.
Don't you see, Tail? Again, that's his way of saying, okay, we're taking this outside.
Pretty much. The only other time he took his shirt off was when he burned Zuko's face in an Agni Kai.
Yay.
Aang, don't
Alright.
stare at me like that.
And we're literally in a Dragon Ball Z field.
Yeah, complete with the rocks and everything.
Well, you can't call this an anime, but it was heavily inspired by anime.
Yeah.
And then Yoda comes down and zaps him with lightning.
We could talk about your feelings. So now, why do you want to kill everyone?
Because it's fun.
Let's see, it's Mark Hamill. Which villain motive should we use today?
It's fun.
Sure, why not? So, okay, now Aang's gotta use everything
can
he's
imagine-
learned.
I can imagine that being the Fire Lord's motivation all this time. He was bored.
Well, yeah.
True.
Yeah, while the Fire Lord
So,
may be...
how?
Oh yeah, we're gonna use a little bit of air trajectories.
Sir, one of our ships is way off course.
Yes, I've noticed, but we have to keep a steady
Uh.
schedule. The comet won't be lasting for much longer.
We
But sir, if
do
one
a
ship's
barrel
missing,
roll?
our torching of the Earth Kingdom won't be as efficient.
Well, we'll just deal with that later. For now,
Jesus.
just go on and fire. Oh, there you get to see in great detail. They are burning stuff down. Toph,
No shit.
even Toph can tell, and she's blind.
Well, she can feel the flame.
Yeah, fire is very hot.
Also, I take that the show doesn't take into account the fact that the huge amount of fire will burn the oxygen in the air.
Oh, don't. Well, Tio, the firebenders are wearing their helmets for a reason.
Yep.
You may notice how their helmets, have those special breathing room bits there. They actually did think ahead for that detail. Well, the ones actually outside, though, they have the special gear on.
Ow!
Oh boy.
John, what are you doing?
God, is it James again? I mean,
Sir, that's not James.
okay, now just one little problem. We have to abandon ship.
It's the Yoshi warrior, the idiotic swordsman.
Did you just say
and
the Yoshi warrior?
It's on purpose.
Oh crap, Suki.
Speaking of the Yoshi warrior,
No, you're not.
There's not much we can do for her, though. Ow.
oh great, the shipping's back.
Waves.
There's no one to even celebrate the coronation.
Yeah, she's banished
Oh.
everybody.
Well,
Pretty much.
Jova, there is someone to celebrate her, I guess.
He's come a long way for this.
No, you're going down.
Fight me 1v1 ARL me, bitch.
Yes.
Yep.
Welcome. Well, yeah.
Agni-
An Agni Kido. Sorry, Agni Kai.
It's I don't know.
Can't explain if you try to take a fucking
No,
look
I'm
at
sorry.
her.
They're doing this intentionally to insult Azula and throw her off her game.
So yeah, it's kind of an interesting bookend. Remember how Zuko began his quest because of an Andy Kai with his father? Now he ends his quest with an Andy Kai with his sister. His incredibly insane sister, who may I remind you now has her firebending also powered up by Sozin's Comet.
Well, so does he,
again,
though.
so does Zuko.
Yeah. Fun fact,
Yeah.
actually, the first time I saw this episode, I didn't know that Azula was naturally a blue firebender, so I thought that she was just powered up more because she was insane.
Well, like I said before, it also helps distinguish the two from a distance.
And let's just say they put a lot of their budget into getting this episode looking good, especially for the finale part.
This scene alone cost Nickelodeon half of their SpongeBob profits, don't you know?
Thankfully, though, they managed to profit off of it because of how popular the season finale was. But yeah, I'm not kidding here. I mean, they really go above and beyond with the detail of the animation here.
Ow.
Whee!
Uh-oh.
Eek.
Oh no.
Careful, Aang. Your back's
that's all
already
we-
scarred by lightning. You wouldn't want to hit
Yeah.
it there.
It sounds like, when the Fire Lord does his fire powers, it sounds like a flamethrower.
That's kind of the idea.
Yeah.
Ugh,
So
lightning bending.
So it's Palpatine. No, sorry. Emperor
Luke.
Skywalker. Emperor Skywalker versus
Oh, but Aang's got it redirected.
Luke Aang.
Liu Kang. Ha 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 ha. I see what you did there, Pedro.
There you go. He could have healed
Trying to
her.
outpun me. are you?
Unfortunately, now Ozai realizes that he's gonna go easy on him, so Ozai is going to basically take advantage of that now.
Well, fuck.
And Aang died.
Whew. That was a close one.
Huh.
But Aang has to be careful because the room is filled with poisonous gas from the flames, and he'll suffocate.
Meanwhile,
if he takes
Izuku
too
and
much.
Azula have been doing so hard that they kind of have set the whole capital on fire.
Sure, why not? Might as well.
Don't worry, guys. The whole kingdom was evacuated.
Well, banished actually, Dweebs.
Oh yeah, no one's left.
So Azula actually did some good by banishing everyone when you get down to it.
Inadvertently.
That's what I do. Banish everybody.
Well, look how Azula's turning out, Dweebs. Would you really want to? And yeah, Zuko pretty much is actually schooling her for once.
I wouldn't risk staying long enough to be banished. I'd just leave.
Right now, Azula is in no state to do an Agni Kai. She's completely insane and she's completely not concentrated. And
Yeah.
she's not. She's completely lost grip on her firebending right now. So she's just basically winging it.
Improvising.
Whereas
He's just angry.
Zuko is as calm as he's been in a fight, surprisingly.
How ironic,
Notice-
considering the
notice how
color
the
is supposed
sound-
to be the reverse. It's,
Notice how the
for,
sound's a bit muted.
Yeah.
it's for affected limbs. No, please. We already had enough Toriyama.
Maybe Toriyama got inspiration from
She's gonna
that.
blow a fuse.
But Azula is going
Now
to.
that's a low. Now
Fire.
that's a low blow.
That's cheating.
No. So that take the bullet time. Yeah, there we go. Get down, Mr. President.
Now, here's the thing. Normally, Izuku could have redirected that if he were standing the right way, but Azula decided, you know what, I'm just gonna cheat, and aimed it at Katara. So he barely got it out. And even still, he's not exactly looking too good.
She's moving like heel Shinsuke Nakamura.
And she's lost it.
Well, hey, she is descended from Mark Hamill, who plays the Joker, so I guess she's inheriting his laugh.
She's Harley Quinn, I guess.
Even Harley Quinn was more sane than that. She is the Joker's daughter. For real, not to well dent.
Depends on the incarnation, but sure.
That's up to
True,
interpretation.
true. Wow, they don't even sugarcoat it.
Now we
Hello
found out
and
the Joker.
welcome to die.
So, let's see, with the end of that episode, let's see, Suki may be dead, Sokka and Toph are kind of worse for wear, Zuko is nearly dead, Azula is laughing mad, and now is after Katara for her very life, and Aang is about to get bulldozed by the Fire Lord. Having
And
fun,
then-
kids?
Yeah. Sorry, everyone. The show's cancelled.
Can you
That-
imagine
That was
if
the
they...
actual ending.
Can you imagine if they had canceled the show right there and then?
No,
Nickelodeon-
I think there would have been a literal lynch mob.
It's like
That wouldn't work, Jova.
Nickelodeon were keeping track of the viewing figures in real time. They noticed the viewing figures were like a little bit below their expectations, and then they cancelled the show
were like-
immediately.
0.1% of it.
They would have
Yeah.
literally burned down the studio so that... Alright,
All right,
folks,
then.
one more intermission, and then it's endgame time.
So yeah.
See you then.
See ya.
So, yeah.
Earth, wind, fire, air. God.
Heart.
I love that song. Yes, this is it, folks. First there was water, then there was earth. Now there's fire. There'll be a season called Air, but not in the show. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. Avatar: The Last Airbender, Book Free Fire, Chapter 21, Sozin's Comet Part 4, Avatar Aang.
Alright.
Okay, so...
Mystery finale.
Are you ready, guys, to see the conclusion to many things? The final demise of Azula, the striking down of the
Yay!
Air Force. Did I mention that Azula's gonna see her demise?
Yay!
Yay!
Alright then, 3.
I shouldn't be looking forward to this much. I'm sorry.
Don't worry, Shiroi. Believe it or not, some folks actually felt sorry for Azula by the end, but
I
you'll
just
see.
really don't like her at all.
Please.
Alright, let's do this. 3, 2, 1, click.
Again, don't worry, Amazon Prime viewers will keep you in mind too.
Yes, we're seeing the intro for the let's see.
Fourth time today.
Hold on. Let's see. Total
The
for us,
last
this
time.
is the this
60
is the
songs.
61st time we've heard this intro.
And it never gets less memey.
Yes.
But it does get less and less pointed.
That's part of the meme. Sometimes anyway.
It's a meme, you deep.
It's just a meme, man.
Yes, he has a lot to learn before he's ready to save anyone at this point.
Well, it's a bit late now.
Okay,
Hey.
okay, Aang, I know that you're inside a giant fire tomb right now, but we still need you to learn just a bit more to beat the Fire Lord.
He's like me, an expert procrastinator, does everything at the last minute.
Yeah,
He's
you
not
don't
ready
get much
You need
more
to learn
left.
absolutely everything in the next 20 minutes.
So yeah, the first half of this season was another big reunion of characters, and here for the finale, we've got the biggest reunion coming. Pretty much anyone who's not dead will return. Although I'm not quite sure if Zuko will live.
Nah, he's dead.
Best character has to live.
Oh, so Zuko's grown to be your favorite.
Well, he was always my
Avatar.
Oh,
favorite.
but look at
Avatar.
that. They actually
Anyway.
changed the opening intro theme there. Okay, and go, movie watchers.
I will force you to leave if I have to.
Unfortunately, some of the air fleet is still around and burning the Earth Kingdom.
Get it? Get it? Force.
Yeah. So Toss gonna use some metal bending to manipulate the direction of his ship.
Mhm.
Oh.
Sir, is the steering broken on this thing? Don't. Ah, I see. They're using the Rogue One tactic.
Yes.
We have an intruder.
Yeah,
Many
man
needs the
agrees.
fire.
Ow.
Oh no.
My leg!
Of course, it's Nickelodeon.
Unfortunately, they're kind of cornered now.
So, what to do?
His boomerang.
Kavit seppuku.
Slow mo.
He's gonna cough off his own hand.
Well, there goes its sword.
God dang it.
Oh.
And his boomerang.
Boy.
You know things are serious when the choir's singing.
What?
Ew.
Hey! Sokka's boomerang is back! It came back in the most heartbreaking of ways.
And
Yay!
Sokka's lost his leg.
But hey, he got his
Hey,
boomerang
let
back.
me ask a question though. I mean, Toph is an earthbender. So wouldn't she be able to, bend the earth to accommodate her fall?
Here's the problem though. It wouldn't necessarily stop the resistance, and even then, that would be a problem for Sokka. The Earth is still incredibly solid. Even if you bring it up to you, if you're going fast enough, you're gonna hit it hard.
I know, but considering she's an earthbender, you'd think she'd be incredibly resistant to earth damage.
Well, that's the thing also, Pedro. She works better when
Oh, here we
she's
go.
already connected to the Earth.
Oh, jeez.
Out.
Huh?
It hit him in the point where Azula locked his chakra. However, knocking it right in there actually unlocks the chakra and allows him to complete his training, which Azula put on pause.
So, Avatar State.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Avatar State? Yep, freaking yep. Backhand.
All these slow-mo.
And,
Bit slap.
and now, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to see Aang get his official Avatar State of Mastery.
Finally.
You know I love this. The very thing that Azula locked was unlocked because her father pushed Aang into a rock stalagmite. Right in the right
Jesus.
place.
Oh, that's the
That
firebomb
face.
attack from Pokemon.
Speaking of that, where is Azula?
In the Fire Nation dealing with Katara.
No, I meant when's that segment coming back up?
We'll see.
Oh, Dwibs is looking forward to it too.
So yes, now he's doing what only an avatar who's mastered the elements can truly do. Bending all four elements at the same time.
He's turned into the planet Saturn.
You are probably screwing
So,
with the
what do you
ecosystem
get
big
when
time.
you do that?
You get the Avatar State now controlled, and the power of every past avatar packed into one.
Here we go.
Meanwhile,
he's
back in
OP.
Ba Sing Se,
Sir, it's just an old man.
yeah, one of the best earthbenders. We locked him in a sarcophagus for a reason, Zhang.
Could we just have one of our assassins shoot him in the head?
Yeah, we could maybe try!
And they just
Never
put him in
utter a plan again,
Best
Zhang.
Disneyland ride ever. Oh.
the Rebel
Symbolism.
Alliance is dead. Oh, sorry, wrong logo.
Swashbuckling.
Ow.
Oh geez, even machine gun everything.
Meanwhile, back in the Fire Nation capital, or what's left of it,
Ooh.
Don't. That'll happen.
Yeah.
Azula, I think, has lost it.
Well, she did it a long time ago.
Implying that she had it to begin with.
Yeah, true. Also that.
She's still calling him Zuzu.
Fire everything!
Pretty much.
Already did so. So,
Can we bloodbend her?
yes.
Easier
Please.
said than done. We don't have a full moon out.
Yeah.
True, true.
I know, Mena. Don't worry, we'll think of something.
Together we can show the world what we can do.
You are next
That's
to me,
right.
and oh crap, Zuko's not next to me.
Don't worry, I've got the ultimate plan.
Firebenders, destroy the moon!
You banished them, miss.
Oh?
Oh.
No,
you
don't
destroy
tell
the
me.
moon then.
Oh yeah. We're gonna have to do something at the very last second.
Not just that, you're using sewer water banding.
It's on Azula.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Oh,
There you go. Freeze.
oh crap, it's going to be stuck in there for 100 years.
That was incredibly close. Water Master Bender, biatch. There. Chained
Nice
up.
and easy.
I wouldn't stand that close to her.
Nah.
She'll electrocute the metal grain.
Yeah, but she'll electrocute herself now because she's wet.
Especially, yeah, she's soaked.
Oh boy.
Now we
Ah,
gotta
yeah.
say. So, goody, now Zuko's got two scars. One from his father and one from his sister that nearly killed him. Family reunions are gonna be so great.
Yeah.
I love you.
No.
Don't ruin them.
Okay, now it's time for the final bit.
Jesus.
There you go, broken down, disgraced, and crying.
So yeah, don't electrocute.
Well, we
please.
may not
There
have
you
killed her, Tio and Shiroi, but
Well,
how's that?
No,
How's that?
sorry, still not enough. I
Yeah.
mean, at this point, it would have been at least an act of mercy putting her down.
Well, think about it. She's been humiliated, she's driven insane, and she's lost the right to be
Killing
Firelord.
her
So,
would kill-
basically, she has no other reason to be left alive.
Well,
Basically.
Tio, killing
True-
her would be
well,
mercy
Teo,
at this point.
implying that we can still torture her while she's still alive.
I mean, Tio, we kill her right now, that would be making her a martyr, if anything. No. If you ask me, I think this is the best way. I mean, seriously though, Azula's downfall was so amazing that some fans actually felt sorry for her after that scene.
I don't know.
know-
She does most of the work for herself at the end of the day.
I can't think who the quote comes from, but yeah, you can't exactly torture a dead person.
Exactly. And hey, you know, the fact that Zuko of all people beat her will be plenty of torture just that alone. Like, seriously, let me tell you right now, Azul's downfall is so big that some people actually talk about that more than Aang's fight with the flipping Fire Lord. Because Azul has been built up as just as much a character as the others, to the point where we've seen her own daily life. Heck, some people even consider her the main antagonist of the show. Which just goes to show, they made a great character with Azul. Now enough gushing about her downfall and demise, let's see how Aang deals with the Fire Lord. Got your leg, and your everything.
We. Okay, can we now negotiate this, please?
You will be cast aside to an island.
Oh, that
Oh,
looks
and
very
Untitled.
expensive.
You'll be forced to watch. You'll be forced to watch Spirit Riding Free on loop for all the rest of your life.
Seriously?
There's your ultimate price.
He gets drenched in water. Have a splash of water in your face and think about what you've done. You are stupid.
Wait for it.
Thanks for that, Tricktoff.
Wait, you used Avatar time freeze?
No. Basically, he used Toph's technique, or a weaker version of it.
What's with the voices?
Hold on.
Basically, the Lion Turtle taught him basic bending. Before bending became elemental, it was just energy within that you could bend. That's right, folks! We have now energy bending!
What?
Hey.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
You'll
Observe.
see. You'll see.
Yeah, you'll see.
It's turned into the 20th century fox torches.
It's a very complicated maneuver, to say the least.
Crap, it's going all artsy on us.
They blew their load on this finale.
Yeah, they did. Basically, you gotta be careful or you'll get corrupted with the energy. Which is unfortunately what seems to be happening right now.
Oops.
Will somebody turn out that light? I'm trying to sleep! It's
Other
probably
than
what
the
the
music
Earth...
was going full also sprach Zarathustra.
Oh yeah, yeah. They definitely spared no expense, music, arts, or whatever with this episode.
So,
There you go.
Can someone tell me what just happened?
He's
Yeah,
about to say.
hold on.
He basically took Ozai's firebending and now...
I do not like this.
Not just
Me
that,
neither.
I'm sorry.
Really?
Wouldn't
That's all you did? You
wouldn't it be
depowered him?
wouldn't it be much easier just getting Tylee free and having let you teach how to do the pressure points thing?
Well, crud, that's actually a good point.
And now you're
Because
drowning.
you get the same
temporarily just
you get the
take it
same
away and
effect
not
without
get
all
rid of
this
it.
bullshit.
Okay.
My problem with that is that
It's a Deus Ex
basically,
Machina.
yeah, it's not just that, Joe. But I don't mind Deus Ex Machina as long as it really serves a purpose. But the only purpose this Deus Ex Machina serves is okay.
Also,
We've
Penis
established. Okay, so you started to establish this Aang's arc about okay, how do I manage to defeat the Fire Lord without going against my principles? Oh, that's okay. This turtle taught me how to remove his firebending conveniently. There you go, problem solved.
I mean,
Again, I love morality, and they had a great thing going, but like a lot of writers who try to do this kind of thing, they cock it up just to have a happy ending.
I will give some credit where credit is due. It's not a complete happy ending by the end of this. That was actually not the intent.
I know, but they built it up and they kind of tore it down.
Okay, yeah. Despite this finale being considered again the best episode of the series, oh wait, this bit.
Oh.
Yeah, basically, the writers realized, oh yeah, Aang kill, so cop out.
Wait.
It's
Wait,
not like this.
Sokka is still a full-grown man with muscles on it. It's not a good idea.
Okay, it's not like this. It's not like
Actually,
it
no.
ruined-
Remember, Teo. Like without his fire bending, like he's basically destroyed by the inside because he's so used
He
to it.
just
not
had
like-
a lot of energy, like,
It's not-
expelled from his body. He can't
It's
handle
not
that.
like it ruins the show. It's just
It,
well,
yeah, allow me to give my 2 cents on this. I will agree that there could have been better ways to do this. Like Tio mentioned, actually, why not consult Ty Lee to help out with this? And, imprison him, sort of like they do with Azula of sorts. And, I'll talk more about this because now we're about to get a fan service moment.
Well, more like, I guess, a Where Are They Now segment.
Hi. About that.
pull the string.
And Mako fans all around got to rejoice. Yeah. So
Very young.
Zuko not only gets to be the Fire Lord, but he got his girlfriend.
Oh.
His future Fire Queen.
He
Yeah.
deserves a happy ending.
Oh, and look, everyone's even back. Even McFoley's character just not speaking.
Oh,
Including the people who were imprisoned. Yeah, Katara, you got to pretty much take down that one character everyone wanted seen taken down.
Tylee.
but she is Kyoshi warrior.
Yep.
Congratulations, Sokka. Now you get 2 girlfriends at the price of 1.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly an entire harem.
So basically, she's going to teach them how to chi block as well. Which will come in handy.
Meanwhile, Aang's gonna be a human ornament.
Yeah. Hey guys, remember how at the start of the show Zuko said he would capture the Avatar and reclaim his honor? Well, he caught up to the Avatar, and his honor's definitely back now. He nailed
Just
it.
not in the way that he thought he would.
And wouldn't you know now, we're back to the Fire Lord and Avatar being friends, just like with Sozin and Roku.
And it all comes full circle.
So yeah,
However-
now that Aang and Zuko are gonna spend the next years trying to,
Rebuild
repair-
everything.
Yeah.
repair the world and try to create
Shit.
try to have
So
world
what did they-
peace.
And if there's one thing I will give this show, if I also count the comics, is like, well, they do address also the effects that the war has had on the world as well.
So what's happened to Azula and the Fire Lord?
You'll see.
You'll
hold on.
see. It only took 100 years.
Oh,
Well,
because
well-
Aang went to sleep.
But there was actually a war called the 100-Year War. Well, 3 years, but who's counting? Ladies and gentlemen, the war has ended. It only took till 2008.
Yeah. To standing
Yeah.
ovation, no less. It must feel so surreal for Zuko to get cheered. And actually, feel genuine about it. So, let's go check on the recent captives.
Alright. Yeah. Oh, it's Vero.
Yep, where Iroh used to be.
How ironic.
Haha.
Was that a better pun?
Comet gets on Azula is better.
Oh, Azul in the comics gets even zanier. Yeah, it's ironic. Because he banned Zuko, that kind of got the Avatar's firebender. Oh, yeah.
I killed her.
What?
Legend of... Okay, two terms to talk about.
Let's just say if you care
Legend
about
of
that
Korra
particular...
and comics.
Wait, I assumed she was dead. Like he killed
Nope,
her and
she
buried
is
her
not
somewhere
dead.
Else.
Let's just say till... I
Hold
don't
on,
like how
hold
the
on.
next show after this handles it.
Yeah.
Okay, I will say this now though. I was expecting Iroh to die a long time ago. I'm actually surprised he survived until the
Yeah.
very end.
And the show will end in Ba Sing Se. Finally at peace.
But what about the Southern Water Kingdom?
Plus, we didn't get
Wait.
to see where Azula was.
Oh!
Artistic license.
Interpretation.
Oh, this bit coming up. He has.
Wait,
But it's okay, guys. Toph thinks they all look perfect.
Oh, nice.
But hey, there's just one little thing to wrap up.
Technically two, but I'll mention.
Well,
it
okay,
after
we'll
the
talk-
episode ends.
We'll talk about that, but yeah. Okay, fans. You've waited. You strived. You held out strong, despite all the teasing from the developers.
Go full alien resurrection and with a bait and switch. I dare you.
Oh, God. Will they do it?
There we go.
Hello.
And cut to black.
Finally, they
It's like
did
Dragon.
it.
It's more time to think of.
I
They
kid
did-
you not.
But they did earlier.
I kid you not. The shipping wars for the show were so big that there was so much cheering going on because these two finally did it.
This is fine and all, but what about Toph and her parents?
Okay.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, isn't that solved in the comics, Jova?
Yes.
Like I don't mind it wasn't that big to begin with, but you bother to tie any supposed and lose, and you don't want to tie that.
All right. Before we give our final thoughts, let's address some of that stuff that you're probably thinking should have been taken care of by the end of this show, and I kind of agree, or should have been handled in a movie or something of its own. Okay, first off, let's start with the small thing. Yes, like you said, Toph dealing with her parents' death. That one is more forgivable to me in the sense that Toph had kind of broken off ties with her parents, and like, well, the last episode dealing with that is her sending a letter to her parents. Like Pedro said, that does come back up in a comic or so. And also how she dealt with her parents is kind of hinted at in Legend of Korra. Speaking of Legend of Korra, now that was the smaller thing, let's talk about one of the big things that fans wanted to see in something. And we're gonna have to read comics for The Search for Zuko's Mother. That will be handled...
I honestly never bothered with that because again I assumed she was dead
Yeah,
because
same.
because Ozai killed her.
Well, actually, no, she was banished. Actually,
she was banished.
yeah, and back to you. He even mentioned that she was
and you want
banished.
to trust Mark Hamill's word on it.
Well, he was sincere because he was trying to kill Zuko. But yeah, basically, let's just say fans were really hyped to find out what happened to Zuko's mother. Legend of Korra came, and you'll see what happened with that. Let's just say it's actually handled in a comic. The comic itself is actually pretty good, except for a few things here and there. And speaking of which, people are also wondering what became of Azula, because, well, yeah, you saw how she ended up. So that will also be in the comics. I mean, okay, the comics are not the worst written thing. There are some things I do not care for and hope are not canon. But I will say this, though. You might be intrigued to see where Azula goes, because let's just say she kind of tries to cope, and, well, let's just say how the mighty have fallen. I mean, look, the comics themselves aren't bad. It's just how Legend of Korra handles it that we really grumble about.
Yeah.
But, enough complaining about that show for now.
Okay, audience. Here's a retrospective drinking game. Take a shot every time one of us grunts about Korra. You'll be drunk within like the first 5 episodes.
Especially when we actually
That's
get
just
to
on
talking about
Pedro's
Legend of
alone.
Korra. But, okay, and now let's talk about the last thing. The Deus Ex Machina. Okay, I mean, to me, okay, it's like, I forget who in this group said it. It doesn't ruin the show, even this episode for me. But looking back on it, there were a lot of better ways that could have been handled. I mean, granted, I mean, granted, yes, they did technically foreshadow the Lion Turtle as early as Book 2. However, the energy bending thing was, well, they could have maybe alluded to it a bit more. And yeah, I mean, like, well, while I appreciate that, the story wasn't your typical, oh, should we kill him or not story, it was kind of resolved a little bit too conveniently for Aang.
If you'll allow me, Jova, like, it's kind of like the same problem I have with the climax of Final Fantasy IX. In the sense that a lot of people like to defend the whole Necron thing by saying, but don't you see, it was foreshadowed when you met the Lavatory boss. And I'm like, okay, so this is still has nothing to do with the story. It comes out of kind of nowhere, and basically it's just an excuse to have an extra boss that has nothing to do with anything. And the game completely not even acknowledges that boss after it's done. So it's just a completely weird detour. It's kind of a similar problem I have with this, in the sense that that whole turtle thing, while foreshadowed in Book 2, it, like Jova said, it could have been alluded more. It still kind of feels out of place and doesn't really, and serves for no other purpose than just, having a cop-out, because like Shiro said, apparently the writers weren't courageous enough to actually pursue the gray morality that they did establish.
It's the one reason why, even though these are my favorite kinds of stories, I also have a big issue with them, because so many writers chicken out of this kind of thing. It's really annoying. I mean, if you're going to set up something like this, then do it.
And it's like Tio said, it's like, okay, if you really don't want Aang to kill the Fire Lord, then go with a more intuitive means. Like, seriously though, I mean, again, it's kind of a good point that the show kind of forgets that Ty Lee is a thing. I mean, there's nothing saying that she couldn't turn the bending off during, say, like, during even the Comet or whatnot.
You didn't even need to do that. All you needed to do was do what they did to Azula. Just, trap him or something, and, make sure he, have some kind of, way of preventing him from physically doing fire bending without killing him. Trap him in stone or something like that.
Chopping your hands and feet is a good start.
Well, we can't do that. It's Nickelodeon.
And considering...
I don't mean directly in a sense, but to be fair, the show hasn't as demonstrated to not pull out of certain things. So
don't worry, Tio. That's what Legend of Korra is for. Yes, Legend of Korra actually.
One more glimpse.
Legend of Korra actually does do more of the darker stuff you'd expect, Tio. For better or for worse.
I don't ask dark stuff, Joe. I ask common sense.
Yeah, let's just say Legend of Korra, it seems like it's reacting to what you're saying, but let's just say it overcompensates. But that's Legend of Korra, but yeah. So,
I'll just say this.
We're here to talk about a good series.
Yeah, she has a point. Go ahead.
There we go.
But yeah, so yeah. Okay, Deus Machina. I think we can all agree that it could have been done way better, but thankfully it doesn't ruin the show or episode. It's weird actually, because I think the reason it doesn't ruin the show is because killing or defeating the Fire Lord was, when you get down to it, only a part of a journey essentially. The end... the end-term goal is actually to end the world. Like, the Fire Lord, while the main villain, the big bad of it all, he's not exactly all at front and center. And the show kind of works for that, Again, it's to a point where some people consider Azula more the main antagonist than him. And to the point where
she shows up a lot more than him and does most of the work, so that makes sense.
Again, let me remind you, some people actually remember her in Final Fight the most, although that's also because of the breakdown stuff with her. Okay then, folks, let's give our final thoughts not just on this episode, but the show leading up to it, starting with you, Shiroi.
Oh, okay.
No pressure.
No pressure. We've gone for the fire, now we go for the flames.
It's a fantastic series. I don't really have much to say aside from this episode, because we've kind of said our small pieces about each of the episodes as we've gone along, so... Yeah, I'll just say that despite my complaining, that the Fire Lord's quote demise didn't ruin anything for me, because I love the episode. That episode was fantastic, aside from that one moment. I would have liked to, like Tio said, see what would have happened with Toph's parents, because it wasn't a priority for me, but after Toph sent the letter, I was kind of hoping for something to come back after that.
On the plus side,
And
Shiroi...
unfortunately, we didn't get that.
On the plus side,
Oh.
Shiroi, you will get to see it when we do commentate on the comics. There are quite a lot of comics. In fact, they're still making some comics, which are in between Avatar and Legend of Korra.
That kind of sucks, though,
Yeah.
because we shouldn't have to do that. And also the fact that Korra was as bad. If Korra wasn't as bad as it was, and it actually tied some stuff off really well, it would have been fine.
You
But
know the
the
sad
fact
thing?
that I
Oh, go
know
on.
Korra
Can
is
I-
terrible for the most part, just kind of.
Can I ask something?
Yes, Dribs?
What was the time gap in between this and Core?
Oh, God, at least 70 years, I think.
Okay.
Anyway,
I wasn't sure if you were talking about the Showtime
Jova's
one
right.
or
It
the
actually is.
IRL
It actually is
timeline.
70 years. Yeah, like Jova said, 70 years.
So,
Yeah.
needless to say, some people aren't around anymore. Basically, the comics in between are meant to bridge the gap between Legend of Aang and Legend of Korra. Fun
How
fact,
many are there exactly?
yeah, fun fact,
If
actually,
you know.
fun fact, originally the creators actually wanted to make a set of original movies to go after the series had ended. In fact, they even had a whole book for Air in the works, which was going to deal with the aftermath of the war.
I'm
But
guessing they had to be made into comics for whatever reason.
Nickelodeon said no because they were busy on a live-action movie. Base.
Because wasn't that
Oh.
around the
Oh.
point when Nickelodeon were?
Yeah, this was at the point where Nickelodeon were against the more serious stuff, and also it's because Avatar had a big budget. I mean, it ended up paying for itself, but Nickelodeon didn't like stuff that looked initially expensive that wasn't SpongeBob.
Plus from what I remember, Korra wasn't helped by the fact that I think like half of season 3 and the rest of the show was dumped online.
Yeah, needless to say, Avatar: The Last Airbender is a beloved series that got abused by the network running it. Kind of a shame.
But unfortunately, that's what happens in the.
Yeah, at least they got this finale out, though. So, yeah, they had to resort to comics. And probably will from
anyway,
now on, because of Let's
can I get-
Record. But,
Can I get my thoughts next?
you done, Shiroi?
Yeah, like I said, because we've spoken quite a bit about the entire series as it goes on, I don't really have much to say in terms of the whole show. I love the series. Again, it's not something that I actually had any interest in when it was actually airing, although I was very much aware of it.
I know
But
the feeling.
I'm glad I watched this.
Yeah. Alright, Dweebs, your thoughts on the series and episode.
I hated it.
And
Okay,
then
not really.
Dweebs was chased off by a plenty of angry fans led by an angry Dante Bosco shouting honor as he fires at him.
Yeah, that's the reason I said it. At least then I'll come out in a blaze of glory.
With your honor intact.
Well, my honor will be intact. My body parts wouldn't be. But okay, my real thoughts. For the most part, I really enjoyed this show. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of laughs. Even it's a pretty nice, well-rounded show that has a lot of things that I look for in a show. Not too serious, but not too goofy either. Because here's the thing with me: if it's too serious, then I'll just fall asleep. But if it's too silly, then I'll end up asking everyone, okay, when's this show gonna end? Because my brain's turning to mush.
Yeah.
But yeah. Pros and cons. Pros, I like most of the characters. Most of the episodes are good. The music's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm not very good at thinking on the spot. But what other pro could there be?
The art style?
Yeah, the art style. Some episodes are better than others in terms of art style and animation quality.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of thing. I guess that happens with an animated show. There's some cases where they have to spend a little less on the budget. so they
Yeah.
can spend more later on.
You can tell they were saving their pennies for this one.
Could you imagine though, Jova? They went so far out there. The rest of the show before this finale was just them coloring this, was just them showing off colored storyboards.
Even better, Dweebs. The fire in this show is them burning the money pile for the budget.
Yeah, in fact, they actually have to film. They couldn't afford to draw, so they just got a camcorder out and filmed themselves burning the money. But yeah, as for cons, let's see. Great Divide.
Yeah.
Fuck that episode. What else? Oh yeah, I think I remember. What was that other thing I made a big fuss about not liking?
Part 2, the Water Tribe with the Liar Reveal plot, if I recall correctly.
Oh god, fuck that. Okay, any work of fiction that does the lie reveal plot should be shot.
Except for a Goofy movie.
No, I think I'd argue even that was a little bit. If anything worse than like off-screen deaths, I'm sure you know that about me by now.
Which, thankfully, this show does not have much of, because you get to see most people die on screen or get drowned.
Or get arrested.
Well,
Yeah.
to be fair, Jove, well, aside from NPCs, the only major character that I can think of is, forgot.
Admiral Zhao.
Well, that's a villain. I mean, in terms of a
What
good
about
guy.
that? What about
Yue?
that asshole? What about that asshole thief?
Oh
I was
yeah,
about to
Jet.
mention yeah, Chet and these companions, since we were trapped.
Oh, his
the
companions made it out fine. Jet just got beaten. However, Yue technically died to become the Moon Spirit.
True, I guess.
And we literally see her ascend into heaven.
Oh, don't you just love that?
But aside from that, I don't remember any particular major, good character death.
Yeah, I mean, that's because
oh,
this...
I just remembered something I didn't like about this show.
What?
Well,
The times where Katara nearly ended up being a psychopath.
Wait, which ones?
I love how you have to ask.
I mean, she's had a variety of different moods, like negative moods
Yeah,
specifically.
yeah,
so
that's
I'm
the other
genuinely
thing
asking you to be more
the-
specific.
It's her mood swings really. I mean, I get that it's the middle of a big war and tensions are high and emotions run wild. But I think I can't remember any specific mentions, or it mostly happened in this season in particular, where she allowed her emotions to swing around a little too much for my liking.
I think the only time I actually disliked that at any point was when she was, quite frankly, being a bit of a bitch to Zuko.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, he needs to work hard for them to trust him, I mean, obviously, but she was deliberately twisting the knife, I felt.
Yeah, and also
Any
to
other
be honest,
time I'm fine with it, but that time, kind of rubbed
Yeah.
me the wrong way.
and also to be honest, if I were trying to redeem myself and yet someone like that was acting like a bitch to me, I wouldn't want to redeem myself for that person. They're a right bastard.
I mean, granted, he did give up his family, life, and everything, so I guess he couldn't allow himself to
Yeah.
be swayed from that.
Yeah, I'd be like, "Yeah, you know what? Fuck you. I've sacrificed everything to be here. The very first thing you do to me is act like a complete cow. So you know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna kill you all right here, right now."
Okay, that might be going a bit
already
overboard.
undead.
It's Jova, it's the Fire Nation.
True. So,
Mind you, the Fire Nation would use their fire, not guns, but
any other
Yeah,
final thoughts, Dribs?
like almost anything, I can't say I have a particular favorite of
Character.
anything. Well, of anything,
True.
I don't have a favorite. I have a whole bunch of them.
Mm-hmm. Do tell.
It happens with me in everything, not just Avatar.
Same. So who are your favorites?
I can't remember.
They're all
Just-
just that good, aren't they?
Well,
Although
favorite
actually,
characters or episodes?
Both.
although
Wow.
I enjoyed Admiral Zhao,
Yeah.
mostly because of the actor who plays him.
Jason Isaacs.
Yeah. Who'd have thought that a guy from Liverpool could end up ruling the world
For the sea, no less.
with an American accent?
I forgot to ask you, who's your favorite?
Characters?
Yeah.
You already know who her favorite character is.
Well,
I have
characters.
several. I like all of the main cast.
Yeah.
Then, well, I guess you can count Zuko as a main cast member now. So,
Yeah.
and there's Iroh, and oddly enough, Azula.
Of course. She's one of my favorites too, of course. In a you gotta love to hate her way.
And everyone loves the cabbage dude.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, we will never know the fate of poor Cabbage Dude.
Actually, we do learn that in Legend of Korra, believe it or not.
What happened? It turned out he's an alien. He went back to his own planet but died.
Nope, he ended up getting a cabbage corporation for cars.
Okay, now you put that Gary Newman
Come
song.
on, guys, let's try.
Anyway,
not
though,
to
yeah.
diverge too much.
Anyway, overall, I really enjoyed the show.
Nice. Alright then, Tio, your turn.
I don't know. Like, I really like the show overall, but I don't know. This ending is, I don't know, just something that ticks me off, and I fear it's one of those things that the more I will think about it, the more negative I will feel about it.
Is it the Deus
that
Ex
because-
Machina or like the plot points that we left hanging?
No, it's too general. That's what I mean. I already told you. I honestly think the show should have gone this step further and actually have the balls to say that mercy for cases like Azula and those were not, worthy. Not even a case of just killing them, but actually not even go to the other extreme. Like a middle ground instead. The firebending removal thing, yes, it's a problem on its own and a Deus Ex Machina out of nowhere. But honestly, at the end of the day, how else would you have ended the fight? But the only major thing to me was there was another way.
Yeah.
But it was already. But to be fair, it was actually an option that I had contemplated in the previous episodes. So I kind of saw it coming. It just wasn't in the way that I thought it would have happened. But the process was there. It's essentially what comes after. It's not even a thing that I wanted everyone to die and the bad guys to win. No, again, like I said, find a middle ground. Do like, for example, what Breaking Bad did. Without spoiling, Breaking Bad is the perfect way to end a season like this. Who had to live, lived. Who had to die, died. No ifs, no whats, no real morality over it, just how life works. And that's what this show should have ended. But not like this. And well, I'll still take it over the season 2 finale, but I say that I liked overall the way this show ended. I will say this though, I would have not cared for a sequel that bridged the final gaps. I would have been fine if this was just what the end of a franchise. No sequels, no prequels, no other expanded universe material. This would have been just fine on its own.
Well, if you disregard everything else, I guess you can consider it the end.
Teo, you'd be better off pretending there's nothing after this, I assure you.
I'll
It's
be the
hard to
judge
do
of
that now that we know.
Well, we'll see, we'll see. I mean, you never know. Maybe.
Anyway, as for the rest of the show, I really liked it. My favorite episode is probably the Tales of Asing Se.
Yeah, that's
guess,
another fan favorite.
But overall, aside from really those 2-3 episodes, like the Great Divide, the season 2 finale, and season 3 finale, overall I really enjoyed practically the rest of them without any major flaw. Maybe there was that moment with Katara's character. Sorry, Mortal Kombat habit. Katara's character, but she got over it anyway, so I guess that's okay.
Favorite characters?
Tough, without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like, she's adorable and she can back any single war she can. Shame about the parents thing, but I guess It's more for the fact that you could have just resolved it as a background event, like
Yeah.
they're just showing the fire, like what you did with the showing the side characters, like Theo, the rest of the Airbenders, for example, and so on.
Yes,
And
that's right,
again,
Tio. Tio survived to the end.
Theo survived this thing.
Mm.
And like I said, I did not particularly care about the whole mother of Zuko plotline because I guess I misinterpret. I genuinely thought she was just died and Zuko
Again, same.
was searching for a lost cause altogether.
You two
So-
got
Felt like
immersed.
it was implied that she died. I don't know.
In that case, you two got immersively because you weren't one of the many fans who theorized forever what happened to her.
But also a favorite character, Iroh.
Oh,
Definitely.
yeah.
It's a shame he doesn't do much in season 3. We just saw him getting out of prison and then at the end conquering Final Ba Sing Se. But that's pretty much it. Like, to be fair, again, I was expecting him to die as soon as, for example, the beginning of season. At first, I thought he would have died at the end of season 1, then at the mid of season 2, then at the end of season 2. But no, it just kept going, because he gave me that vibe of the Obi-Wan to Zuko's Luke. Which to say, also, aside from that season 2 finale, I really like how Zuko's character grew. It's just that, again, that turn in season 2, I think it should have been handled a bit better. Over to the villain side, I will also add a thing that hasn't been pointed out. I'm not really too keen how the Fire Lord was handled. Like, he's shrouded in mystery for most of the part. Then when he finally shows up, he doesn't do much. He just stares at the screen for a couple of seconds for a bunch of episodes. We know that he's powerful. We know that he's supposedly the evil emperor and everything. But we don't get to see him doing much stuff before the climax. That's it. We see him because we already have stuff like, for example, Azula having to be the destructive force. We know that he's that powerful, but we don't see, at least to me, I didn't saw that intimidation power at all. The only major spark that I had was that moment that he had with Azula in this four-parter. But aside from that, I wasn't taking him too seriously as a villain. Not in a case that he was laughable, more like in a sense that I knew, after all this time, I still knew so little about him. And it's a bit of a shame in itself. But aside from that, again, Azula, I loved to hate her. It's not a favorite character because I still hate her.
Yeah.
When,
I hate her too, but she's still
I
a
don't
favorite
take,
because
well,
of
I
that.
don't take. It's not a thing that I take a liking, at least for her case, which makes again her supposed demise a bit bitter for me because again she just does most of her work for herself, and then the others just take pity on her. I gotta love how the writers. I honestly think that final thing where she goes completely mad was the writers desperately trying to ask the player to be sorry for her. But I'm sorry, it just doesn't work for me. I still want her to be chopped. But what can I do? So overall, I have mixed feelings, but at the same time, I will say that I still really, really like this show overall. Like it's probably one of my best cartoons. That I will say, third spot on the TV show that I watch of the 2000s. First is Over the Garden Wall, and second Gravity Falls. Third is Beast. But so yeah, still very solid to me. I guess I did. I did the right choice by watching it like this, especially before the movie. So let's see how downfall things go from here, I guess.
You have the perfect guidebook now installed into your mind for everything wrong with that movie, Tio.
Not just
Alright,
the movie, like when
Legend
you
of
get
Korra as well.
when you get into book 2 of Korra, you'll be begging for the season 2 finale. I'll just say that.
Now, I will say
Anyway.
this, book 3 of Korra is good, but again, you gotta go for books 1 and 2.
Ew.
All right then.
Pedro.
Joven and Pedro, do you have anything to add? Since
All
you're
right.
veterans of this.
I'm not gonna mention the problems I have with the show because they've already been addressed.
So, favorite characters and thoughts on this episode?
My favorite character is Zuko. He's by far the most interesting character in this entire show,
Mhm.
to me.
It's like if Rufio got his character development before getting killed by Hook. I kid.
Not to mention, of all the characters in this show, he's the one who gets the most development throughout all 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Like, he's kind of like
the protagonist.
you can make an argument to say that he's even more of a main character than Aang, because Aang, don't get me wrong, Aang has great development, but Zuko is consistently growing to some extent right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Right.
Even in book 1.
Yeah, even in book 1, we have Iroh trying to reason him, tell him, look, you should calm down. You shouldn't be so angry all the time for no reason. But yeah, Zuko is great. But yeah, the basic gist of it, it's a fantastic show. Great storytelling, great characters. One particular appreciation that I have for it is the fact that it proves that you can have characters be complex but still be overall likable, and to have passion to them, to have warmth to them, unlike what people like Aaron Sorkin and David Fincher would have you believe.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad, because that's kind of the trap that Korra fell into. But again, save it for later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a fantastic show. Great animation, great music, great humor. What else? It's just overall it's very creative in the sense. I've already mentioned the music is great.
It's one of the best paid shows I've ever seen.
It's a great show. I don't think it's it's one of the best cartoons ever made for me, because just because of the overall quality and creativity put on display right here.
It's even been added to some official list as one of the best animated or kid or family shows.
Well, it should. Although I still don't think. Although I still think they could have had like some kind of 4th season.
Yeah.
Where
Well,
like.
again, as Jova said, they had that planned, but
Yeah, they had a plan, but Nickelodeon
Stuff
said no
happened.
to that, so they had to make them into comics instead.
Couldn't. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Why not scrap Korra entirely and just do the rest of the stuff, the show, whatever. Moving on.
Pedro, when Nick says no, it doesn't matter how many times you object.
But whatever.
Pedro, Nickelodeon's the same company that thought, hey, who do we get to do our live-action movie? I know, the guy who made The Village.
Anyway, yeah, this is a great show. It's just a shame that Shyamalan had to ruin the possibilities for a live-action equivalent of it. And it's a shame that even despite the rising quality in seasons 3 and 4, the sequel show had to end in leaving such bad taste in my mouth, and I'm assuming Shira's mouth.
And if the audience are doing
I'm not gonna say why, because I don't think Theo knows, and Webbs doesn't know, I think. But let's just say that ending is. Shira, would you say it's like the polar opposite to a certain subplot of The Last of Us? You know the one I mean.
Yes.
Let me put it like this, folks. Let me put it like this, folks. The thing we're talking about with season 4 isn't even an entire plot point. It's just something
it's
that...
It's literally the final scene.
And it's something that even better, it's something that had to be confirmed on the internet by the makers. It's a little blemish on an otherwise good enough finale, but, we're foreshadowing that enough.
Let's just say, everybody, these were the highlights of the Avatar franchise. Sadly, it kind of goes downhill from here.
Except for some of the comics.
Yeah, but TV show / movie wise, let's just say we all wish. Let's just say it would be for the better if we had just ended here.
So yes, we hope you enjoyed our commentaries on.
Hey, wait! Hold on. What about my final thoughts, Dwibs?
Yeah,
I just want to say something really quickly before you give your final.
Oh, well, it sounded like you were ending it. Okay, go on.
Yeah. We also like to, for those of you who did go back and listen to our commentaries over and attempt the drinking game, we will unfortunately not be able to pay your medical bills, but
enjoy our eventual commentary of what's, of course, your prize.
Yes, but don't do the drinking game there, I beg you.
Don't bother, they're already dead.
He's already dead.
I'm responsible for like 20 deaths.
All right, Joe, I'll try to keep it short because we're kind of already gone way over time.
Oh,
Go ahead.
folks, this show to me is amazing. I mean, it has problems, it has flaws, yet all those flaws and all those problems to me are undone. Well, not undone, but they're overshadowed by how much detail and lore there is put into this world and actually facilitated. Like, my co-commentators have said a lot of good stuff. Let me talk about something that I haven't heard much talked about, though. The level of detail of this show. Like, this is a show that rewards you for going back, looking at certain details, and saying, oh, hey, the little details here and there. The world they build around bending is unique, clever, and creative. Like Pedro partially complimented. Heck, even to the point where people with disabilities like Toph can use bending to help them. And it's not like she's OP or anything. She still has her weaknesses here and there. Oh god, favorite characters. Believe it or not, I actually appreciate some of the side characters too. Like, well, I gotta say, a lot of shows have their side casts here and there, but this is definitely one of the best side casts I've ever seen. Like, May, Ty Lee, awesome women who can fight, but beyond just that, May's also got a bit of depth for her character too. We know why she's sullen while she's quiet, why Ty Lee is exuberant and trying to be unique. Like, again, we go to the levels to show you give even the side characters nice fleshed out stuff to the point where Suki, who was a side character up until like near the end, becomes a member of the Avatar gang. And it's pretty neat. And yes, I will give this show a compliment. It's one of the best handlings of romance in a kid's show I've seen done before. Like, I don't know what it is about it, but the romance here is not really that... Actually, it's not cringeworthy at all, honestly.
Well, Jova, maybe because it's not even the focus.
Exactly. Like, that's a pretty good detail. It's like, I realized a lot of shows have the trouble of trying to make the romance the focus. This one has it on the side. And the characters acknowledge that during a war is not always the best time, especially with Katara and Aang. And yeah. Again, going back to depth, this show goes to a lot of layers, to the point where it's actually okay if there's a funny moment during a serious scene, because you've gotten to know these characters so much that you realize these sunny moments are what are meant to keep the characters sane from going completely down in the dumps with despair at how much this war has affected them. And yes, it's an effective plot layering thing, a war. But because of that, each episode essentially can work in and of itself to the point where it's its own story. There just happens to be a war in the background, which makes it good for some newcomers to be able to jump in on in certain points, which help to develop even a bigger fan base. I mean, the previously ons especially do a good job with that. Like, let me write this. Again, this was literally the second episode I ever saw of the series, and yet it still hit me with as much impact as someone who had been with the series because it does such a good job in and of itself. And that is truly an art and talent that I appreciate of this show. Yeah, as many have said, the music and art is very well graded and crafted and handled. As for my favorite character, God, that's tough, but I'm gonna go with Sokka. You know what? I'm gonna just say what someone else said and say everyone in the main cast is definitely my favorite. And heck, even May, Ty Lee, and Azul are my favorites as well. It's like, they're just all so awesome, so well developed. Like, oh, I could watch these characters so long doing whatever here and there. And that is what did help me during the comics as well, because they were characters I cared for. And they're just so well talented and put together. And special props go to the voice cast. Like, seriously, the voice cast of this is, again, one of the best I've seen ever. Like, they put so much weight and honor into their characters. I was trying to step around that, but I just had to. But yeah, they definitely do it with the utmost of diligence. And they're all fun. Especially Sokka. So, yeah, again, folks, this show has its flaws. The season finale had quite the notable flaw. But it's just still a gosh dang great amazing show that I would rewatch whenever, with friends, with family, heck, even on my own. And that is why I conclude that this is, without a doubt, one of my favorite series of all time. Well, and thus, folks, this is the end of the battle, but not the end of the war. Tune in next time, folks, because next up comes M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender.
Well, round 2 for you guys.
True,
but-
round 2, a generation's commentary.
It's round 3 for me.
It's interesting you say that. I don't know. Again, maybe it's just because I saw the movie before watching the show. To this day, I still find that movie so unintentionally hilarious. Why? The dialogue. The dialogue is so easy to make fun of.
Yeah, see,
It's amazing.
See, my mistake was going in there after seeing the show and not knowing who M. Night Shyamalan was, so I dared to assume the movie would be good.
Oh,
yeah.
you poor
Anyway,
Well,
tune in
thing-
for Shyamalan's ruination of what was once a
thing-
great franchise.
One thing I will say is that I'm kind of glad that after, not that a few years after that, Visit and Split came out, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to forgive him. And
Yeah.
bear in mind, I saw the film before I saw the show.
Yeah. All right.
As a result, I came into the movie not knowing anything, so I was just able to just enjoy it for the bad Shyamalan movie that it was. That I still was have
And then
fun
you
with.
watch the show.
That is
I-
one.
I-
That is one good
because
thing the movie did is get people interested in the show.
That's one of the things that I like about Shyamalan, because even when he's making bad movies, he's still fun to talk about. They're still it's somewhat interesting to talk about it to an extent. Some are more fun to talk about than others, I mind you, but they're always at the very least worth talking about.
All right then, folks. See you then.
See you then.
See ya.